You said 9:30.
I thought so. She
Oh, we're
changed it.
live. How do I know? Oh, well, let's say someone joins.
We're live.
I see that.
Okay, hi, it's Trent Clark here with Leadershipity CEO. Today, I'm joined by my 20-year-old son, Brig. Say hello, Brig.
How's it going?
Yeah, so Brig is currently busy as a welder, does a lot of work. He's a motorcycle enthusiastic, and he's going to speak up for his generation here of everything that's going on. So, first, Brig, say hello.
How you guys doing? My name's Brig. I'm obviously a son, and yeah, pretty much everything you said is true. I'm in a car group, and that differs range of age. And then I own a motorcycle, a 636 ZX R6 Ninja, and then I am a welder. So I'm working on that career to make it pretty much my life job.
It's awesome. Okay, Brig. So let's talk a little bit about how life has changed for you in 1 year. Last year, you were a senior in high school. You were nearing a degree completion from a pretty cool high school here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was called the Aviation Academy. And then, with like 3.5 months to go, or maybe 2.5 months to go in your senior year, COVID hits and everything changes. So, how did it change for you? And tell me a little bit about what you did about that change.
So yeah, it was senior year. Finally, COVID hits. No more school. So I was like, shoot, I can get a job. So I went and got a job at McDonald's. You know, stupid, but it was money. And so I wasn't like losing money while doing things. So after I did that, I pretty much worked there all summer long and then decided I was going to be an electrician out of high school. I've always thought that since freshman year. Went and turned in my first resume to this company. And when I went and turned it in, I literally decided, nah, I'm not going to do it. So then I had to find another career. So I went with welding, went to school at Grand Rapids Christian, or not Grand Rapids Christian, uh, Grand Rapids Community College. And then I got my welding certificate and I'm now welding. So it changed a lot.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. So talk a little bit about like you made a pretty bold move to opt out of opt out of high school in about a single day when your school probably wasn't super prepared for a change in online remote learning, everything else. Didn't really have a backup plan. So tell me a little bit about what you decided to do and what the school offered for you.
So pretty much didn't do good junior year. Senior year, thought I was going to like struggle doing fun things every weekend, typical high schooler. And then I was like, shoot, better get the grades up. Second semester, senior year, got to graduate strong. So I had like an 85 and above in every single class. So they're like, either you can finish and try and raise that grade or opt out. And I was like, well, I'm not trying to take a final and lower my grade. So I opted out. And then I had pretty much a 5 month summer.
Nice. Yeah. I think everybody wants a 5 month summer when you're 19 years old and you're finishing, high school before you decide like, hey, what do I want to do next? Right. So let's talk quickly about let's talk quickly about friends and how did they react to COVID and the change and did some friends lose their job? Did some people stay in school? How did that work for some of your friends?
Well, some of them stayed in school and finished the year because they couldn't graduate early. Um, Most of my friends were working, so they either got laid off, they got unemployment. So pretty much everyone was kind of staying busy. But we really didn't let COVID restrict like our friend group and how we did things. Like we just thought it was like another sickness that's going around.
Mm, mm.
And some people didn't like that.
Yeah, yeah, that was well early on. A lot of people didn't know much about it. So when they were looking at, the age group of your class, right? Like those kids, no one really your age was getting sick in any way other than like a flu symptom. But I know there was a big concern about, oh, those high teens and the college kids are all going to be carriers. And so, yeah, there was probably some concern there.
I mean, yeah, after having COVID twice, actually, it did not, it was like a sickness. You laid back for 2 weeks or 10 days whenever the flu went away, and then you continued on with your life. Like, was nothing serious, but I guess it could harm older adults. So that was the concern from everybody, all the parents and adults.
Did you think people managed their time differently? Like, was all of a sudden everyone getting like 8 hours more a day on Netflix or more social media? Or do you think like people got engaged, like went outside and hiked and did more of that? Or how do you think like it went with your friend group?
We went out and did everything.
Went
I
outside.
mean, yeah, no, we had never sat inside. There'd be days where we're like, oh, it's raining out, like Netflix and just hang out at the house. But most of the time, we'd go out, do anything, work on
Yeah.
cars, go drive around in Grand Haven or Holland, just cruise on our car group. I would ride my bike with my buddies who drove their cars.
So you remember probably when it first started, and they said, "Hey, this thing all is going to be quiet for like 3 weeks, and then everything's going to be back to normal." Um, what do you think about that now? Like a year later, what do you think about what kind of people's predictions were, and then what happened?
So annoying. Like, we all thought it'd be over with, and then everyone would go back to school. But then after it wasn't over with and it just kept going, we're all just like, all right, like we'll follow the rules. We kind of followed the rules in the beginning, just like 3 weeks. All right, bet. Like we still would hang out at people's houses, but we wouldn't go out. So we're like, all right, same friend group every time. Like no one's carrying it, no one's doing anything else. So that's kind of what we did at first and just kind of kept it low. But then after it went past a month, we're like, we're so done. Summer's it's coming spring. Time to break out the motorcycle, the nice cars, like cruise around. Like so as soon as it was like a month, we kind of just acted like it was a normal summer, no sickness, wear a mask when you go places. Which was really nice for me because when I'd ride my motorcycle, I could literally just flip down the visor and walk through stores, restaurants, which is super convenient.
Love it. Okay. So, tell me a little bit when you talk about change and would you do anything differently now? Like if you knew then what you know now, would you do something different?
As far as
Just the way you might have spent time with friends or maybe staying away from, like we live pretty close to the beach. And in the Michigan in the summer here in Michigan, like
it's the
Lake
spot.
Michigan's a big
It's the
spot,
spot.
right? Like that's the place to be, right? And there was a lot of warnings. They were like, "Oh, let's not congregate at the beach and things like that," and especially early on. But would you do anything differently now, knowing what you know now?
Honestly, no, because it was the best summer of my life. So like, couldn't change that because if I changed it, it wouldn't be the best summer.
Okay. All right. So, break for those kids that are coming out of school now, looking at different couple options of what they might do, whether they might go to trade school or be an apprentice or go study locally at their junior college or go to university. Things aren't great for the job market for your age group just because everything's been slowed and a lot of the jobs that your age group fills um just aren't there or the pay is so low. It's better to be on unemployment than actually go to a job that pays you $9 an hour,
Not
right?
wrong.
So um tell me a little bit about um what would you recommend for kids right now? What should they do at this time?
I mean, honestly, if you want to go to college and know exactly what you're gonna do, go to college, go to a state college, and go get it done. Now, if you're like want to go to college but don't know what to do, take 2 years, stay at home, go to a community college, and see how you like those first 2 years. Get your gen eds out the way, and then go to normal college for 2 more years, like a state university, whatever. But if like you have no clue and you're just trying to waste time, go into the trades for at least the first year. See if you like it. If you don't, go to college. Like so many people waste time with college going out saying, "Oh, I want to go to college," but realistically, they're just going to college to party most of the time. Not most of the time. Some people, and they're just wasting their parents' money, their own, not knowing what they're doing. First 2 years, what are you doing? I don't know. And then they change their major senior year, and they got 2 more years of school on their hands.
Yeah, that's a very different thing from when we were kids. Like when we were kids, it just wasn't so expensive to transition or transfer a school. First of all, it was just like, a lot of credits didn't transfer, but now the cost is so different. And it was significant then for us. Like it wasn't like cheap still to go to college, but if you transferred and you could still get done in 4.5 years, it wasn't like break the bank on your parents or break the bank on your own wallet. Now, I mean, a setback like that could be 25, $35,000 difference in education. So you're kind of a proponent of let's knock out the general education stuff. If you're going to go to 2 year, like why not stay local? Or even if you traveled out of state, maybe even still if you went to a Florida school and moved closer to friends or family into a different location, you still go to that 2 year program and kind of figure out like, hey, where do I really want to spend my time? Where do I think my interests best lie?
Exactly. And that's exactly what Allie did. She moved from her hometown to Grand Valley, lives at the university with her cousin and roommate, and then goes to the community college in Grand Rapids because her
Mm.
address is a Grand Rapids address and she's in the radius. So, like, that's another option if you want to just move away and try something new.
Yeah, and Allie has a job here locally too.
Not at the moment. She's getting a job for Monster.
Okay, good. So her concept is, hey, you can still go look at potential jobs or anything else, like, hey, wherever you're at, right? Like especially there are a lot of jobs in delivery. There are a lot of jobs. Obviously, Amazon's doing fine. There's a lot of jobs in this environment. So, and wherever you go, restaurants, food, tanning, things that people are always still using services that are pretty regulated. Those jobs are available. Those things haven't really stopped so much. You think that's true?
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think that's one thing that I noticed when I was in that your age, and we learned to wait tables and we worked at restaurants, and that was pretty good business because one, we liked the cash, and two, no matter wherever we went, there was always restaurants to work at, so you could go potentially get another job and wait tables, and so it was a good skill to learn customer service and interacting with people. But the better thing we liked about it, especially at that age, was cash. Right now, making 50 or $75 in cash money when we went to work and we'd come home, that was pretty good stuff.
yeah, cash is always nice. That's for sure. It's not taxed.
Well, yeah, potentially.
But yeah,
Um,
potential.
all right, well, Brig, let's wrap up for today. So appreciate if anyone has a question, please put it in the chat, and love to hear anything that you have for myself or Brig as we talk about, um, you know, this age group is and challenges in the current environment, as well as what's happening here in the state of Michigan and all that good stuff. So um, please place that chat. So I have a quick question for you, Brig. So the question is uh, do you think? Yeah, you said you're welding now.
Mhm.
Is your long-term game like welding, a long time? Do you want to own a welding firm? Is this a skill that you're developing so you always have that? And then you're looking on to do other things? Or is this something you're going to develop into other like high level welding items and keep progressing?
For now, it's just weld until I keep progressing, get to the highest level I can, and then eventually I'd like to own my own business. Not sure if it's going to be a welding business or just a business in general.
Okay.
Something that I run.
All right. For all
Yeah.
the people that are out there, cooped up a little bit, brothers and sisters, it's a little different environment because they're not going out as much or haven't been as much. What would you recommend?
Was that a question towards me?
Yeah, towards you. Like, what
Oh,
would you recommend for families when, they're close to each other and maybe, more on top of each other than ever because of being in the environment, less people leaving the house, all that good stuff.
I don't know. It's a hard one. Take a walk, go to the gym, go shopping, get out the house for a little bit. I don't know, do something. Gym's a good idea. Always.
Gym. Yeah, get out, get healthy. I know for a while the gyms were closed down, so but a lot of people were, because it was summertime, they were biking, they were hiking, doing their push-ups, pull-ups at the park and doing some different kind of strength training. Do you think, Brig, I mean, you've moved, you were born in Arizona. You moved to Illinois from there, right? And then now you live in Michigan. Do you have a favorite state?
Not Michigan.
Michigan's not your favorite state. So where does Brig Clark see himself settling in at?
A nice beach. Somewhere with a beach.
We have a beach here in Michigan. You
Nah,
go
nah,
there
I need a
all the time. Lake
tropical
Michigan's
beach.
gorgeous.
I need a tropical beach. With
Oh,
no
you want
winters.
something
Yeah,
like
no winters. No winters. But close enough to Colorado where I can like go skiing if I want. Maybe Oregon.
oh yeah.
They got big bears there.
Yeah, Oregon's not tropical, bro.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
okay, Oregon is got a beach. They do have the coast there. It is relatively close to Colorado,
It's a good drive and a
and
half.
another good skiing too. By the way, there's other good skiing out there. But you're thinking like as you grew up, um,
Going to Telluride.
yeah, you grew up going to Telluride. Yep, we did that a
Yeah.
lot when you were a kid. And we like that, right? Like we were in sunny Arizona and we would, when you were 5 and 6 years old, we would put you in the car and by noon we were, we get in the car like 4 in the morning and you would sleep for a while and then with your brother and then we would wake you up for breakfast around 8 or 9 and get you geared up and then we'd be in Telluride for lunch at noon and we'd hang out at the condo for the day and the next day we'd be running the slope. So that's where you learn to ski. And do you still ski?
No.
What do you do now?
Snowboard.
Oh, you're a snowboarder. You're a knuckle dragger.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And did the skiers get mad at you because you cut them off?
We cut off everyone. We don't just cut off skiers.
It's everybody. No one's immune. Small
No,
children, women.
no. Equal rights.
You're always in the terrain parks. There's no cutting off. You're always jumps and rails. So you see yourself in a warm climate, potentially Arizona. The warm climate of Florida is not very close to a ski hill. So
No.
my assumption is you don't want to go to the East Coast like a Florida. Is that right?
Too many Floridians there. Couldn't do it.
So you think you're going to go West Coast, maybe Cali or Phoenix? Well, Phoenix is no beach, but you think California?
New Mexico got a beach, right?
No, no beach in New Mexico.
Dang.
Texas,
There we go. We'll go to Texas.
yeah, Texas
Everything's
has
bigger is
beach.
better.
Yep. All right, Brick. Any last comments before we go?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today on, Clark Clan here as we discuss, the challenges, the future and the fun of our college age kids and what they're looking for, what they're up against, some of the challenges they face. So a little insight from um, the college guys. So thanks so much for joining us, Brig. Anything before you sign off?
Have a good one.
Well, I'll give you one more. I'll give you my favorite Bible verse, right? Sign off here, which is Hebrews 12:11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those that are trained by it. So that is my biblical verse of the day. Do you have a biblical verse for us for today?
John 3:16 is typical.
It is typical. It is typical. Do you know what it says?
For God so loved the world and gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not die but have eternal life.
It's awfully good right there. That you nailed it right there. John 3:16. Always a trusted oldie but a goodie and probably the most powerful of them all. So, all right, signing off. Thanks so much, Brig, for joining us. For everyone, please join us on YouTube Live. Leadershipity channel will be live tomorrow at 12:30 with Desmond Clark, former NFL Bear, author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, talking a little bit about winners find a way.